I am smaller, so you can be taller than. You are strong to.
Meeting to order. All the trustees are present except for Lisa Macker, who is on vacation, so I'm standing in for Lisa. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I hope you're enjoying your summers. First item is, where I think we have something happening, is hearing of citizens, and we have B.B. Longstreet who wants to speak to us. Thank you.
Hi, my name's B.B. Longstreet, and I'm a resident of the Lower West Side. I've lived in my home for 29 years on Coronel Place, and we're now facing a new problem that's growing out of the conversion of the large apartment buildings to student housing. City College and the city are going to have to address some of the problems that we're seeing down there, because I write these things down and then I can't do it from here, so I'm going to tell you what I think. Several of the large apartment buildings within a block of me, so we have probably talking over 120 units, are now solely student housing. The apartment building behind me, La Brisa, has 160 calls for service from the police department in 18 months. It is solely student housing, 74 units, and the party starts at 10 o'clock at night. They also house Kaplan students who the apartments are rented by Kaplan, so the management company doesn't even know who's in them. And those kids come and go, and it's turning into a huge issue. We're kind of a mini IV now. It's become lucrative to the landlords to do this. And my greatest fear is, at the beginning of one of these semesters, we're going to have a social media weekend, and we're going to have an incident that we can't control. So I'm coming to you to alert you. We're organizing in the neighborhood about this. I've been working with the beat officer. I've been in contact with the mayor. Our beat officer is working with management, but it's going to have to come from you too. Because when you say, but we don't control the housing, it's on your website. La Brisa is on your website as a recommended endorsed housing. As a parent, that would bother me. I'd be upset if my child went into an establishment like that, and I thought it was something more than it probably was. I'm also concerned about Kaplan, and that everybody take a little responsibility for the issue, and that we all start working together to solve this problem. Because it's noise, it's underage drinking. The neighbor around the corner from me can't keep his windows open because the dope smoke comes through his windows. It's litter, it's kids coming home drunk in the middle of the night, walking down the street. So it's student safety as well as neighborhood safety, and just a big change in demographics. So I hope we can all work together to solve this problem, or at least get a better handle on it. Because the difference now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with our neighborhood, but we've had our issues in the past. Well, we continue to. But the difference now is that every semester we have a new group. Every term it turns over. So there's no investment in the neighborhood. You don't get people on board for the long haul. So thank you for listening to me today, and I will leave this information with you so that you can help, and I'm sure we'll all be getting together to talk at some point. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. I appreciate your bringing them to us. Angie, anyone else? Okay. We're going now to item 1.6, the minutes of the special meeting of June 24th, 2014, and minutes of the meeting of June 26, 2014. We can take them together if anyone, unless anyone wants to separate them. Okay. A motion?
So moved.
To approve?
I'll second, but there is a correction.
Okay.
For the minutes of June 26th, item 1.8E, the spelling of the name is Townsend, Townsend.
Okay, and I had mentioned to Angie an earlier typo just in the paragraph above it. We have an extra "it," which is going to come out. So with those corrections, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay. Minutes are approved. Recognitions? Dr. Gaskin? Not today. Communications, Dr. Kimberly Monda. And Kim, I certainly noticed you had a busy agenda for your meeting, so we're interested in hearing about it.
It's a good opening. I think one of the most important things I learned is how difficult it is to manage time at these kind of meetings. I've never been running a meeting with over 20 really articulate, prepared, thoughtful colleagues. So we did not discuss everything on the agenda, but I have some ideas for next time. But what I did want to share is at that, our only meeting this summer had wonderful attendance. I mean, you know, summer doesn't always happen. We had everybody there or a substitute. One person was out of town, but her division has 2 senators, so we had full representation. It was really wonderful. This was our first meeting since the tragedy in Isla Vista, so we began with a moment of silence and took ourselves back there. And then at our first discussion item, and that was part of the time management, I wanted to be sure we got to discuss that. So it was important to do that together. And we had far-ranging discussion, a lot of important ideas raised, and where we left it was we're going to try to get some kind of notes from the forum that Dr. Gaskin held on May 27th, because people who'd gone to that said, oh, we talked a lot of important ideas there too, we'd like to combine them. And so our goal is to come back at the retreat and think a little bit more what kind of formal actions that we might take in response to that. We're also reviewing 3 important policies and practices, and we only discussed the first one that I'll describe, but the retreat on August 20th is my catch-up day, so we'll get to continue the discussion, and I'll prepare the senators to know what they're taking back to their divisions. So at that first meeting in August, they'll talk to their divisions, and then at our September meeting, we'll be able to take action on these items. We really need input from everybody on them, but these 3 policies or practices really reflect a larger effort on the college's part to be more transparent in all the things that we do and to really focus on planning and communication. So I'm excited about them. The first one is the Planning and Resources Committee's recommendations to maximize efficiencies in assigning classrooms. That we haven't looked at our party classrooms in 15 years, and there's been a lot of changes in terms of the classes we offer. So we have some really powerful changes that I hope that the faculty will endorse. The second one is a recommendation from the IA Senate District Work Group on department chairs, and that is just that we meet every year and go over the incredible set of duties and responsibilities that do change a little bit every year. And we've been doing that more via email lately and word of mouth, and we really need something more formal and organized, and a chance for them to come together and talk about it and be able to support each other as they go forward. There's a lot of duties that chairs are facing. And then the third one is from the IA Senate District Work Group on faculty evaluation. And evaluation is a really important moment where we get to, I think, do professional development. I know there's legal issues with it as well, but this recommendations about training and orientations for new faculty, I think, are really exciting from a professional development standpoint. So I'm looking forward to hopefully bringing back to you at the end of September the action that we took on these things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Any questions? Okay. Liz, I believe, does not have a report today, nor do we have one from Associated Students, so Dr. Gaskin.
Thank you very much. I have a number of things I wish to share. First and foremost, I wanted to introduce to you a new individual who has joined the SPCC family, and he doesn't realize that I'm going to point him out in a moment. Dr. Alan Price is our new Dean of Educational Programs. Alan, do you want to kind of like do the king wave? There you go. And you joined us July 1, is that correct? July 1. Yes, and we're delighted. Along with Melissa Moreno and Kenley Newfield, that rounds out the cadre of wonderful deans that we have. So, the second item, we have finished the data crunching for our 13-14 enrollments, and I provided a recap sheet. And for those in the audience, Joan, perhaps you could hand that recap sheet out to the audience members. But I did want to spend some time going through it because I think it's important to provide a recap to you at the end of the academic year. So in 13-14, we had 30,687 unduplicated headcount students for the full year. And there's a few ways to examine their demographics. Probably the most notable is that 21,000 of those, or 70%, reside in the Tri-County region of Santa Barbara County, Ventura County, and San Luis Obispo County. So that's certainly a large magnitude. 20%, or 6,000 students, come from other than those three counties, but in-state, other counties in California. 4% are out-of-state, and 6% are international students. If we just look solely at Santa Barbara County, of those 30,687 students, 19,727, over 19,000, let's round it to 20,000, are from Santa Barbara County solely. If we dig a little deeper, we served 2,000 dual enrollment students in the fall semester and 1,987 dual enrollment students in the spring 14 semester. 38% of our students in the fall semester indicated Hispanic origin, and 41% for spring semester, Hispanic Latino. We are traditionally very strong, traditional college-age institution. 60% of our students are age 25 or below. And what's notable is that 43% of our June 2013 local high school graduates, that is high school graduates from Carpinteria Unified and from Santa Barbara Unified, enrolled in SBCC in fall of 13, 43%. Anecdotally, around the state, that hovers about high 20s, low 30s%. The fall semester unduplicated headcount was 23,000. The spring semester unduplicated headcount, about 25,000. You cannot add the two because there's overlap. So that's why we have 30,000 unduplicated headcount for the 13-14 academic year. And we achieved our funded FTES of 14,294 FTES. That is with borrowing from a bit of summer of 14. Recall, and Nick, I'll get to you in half a second. Recall that we declined significantly due to the economic downturn, as well as the transition of non-credit enrichment courses into fee-based. When Prop 30 came back, we were able then to add back course sections, but it's taken a lot of course sections to equalize that amount of coursework that we transitioned to the Center for Lifelong Learning. Nick, you had a question?
The acronym FTES.
Full-time equivalent students.
Thank
So you take all those part-time students and full-time students, all 30,687 of them, you run them through a calculus, and if all of them were going full-time, it would be equivalent to 14,000 students. But they're not, as you know, all going full-time. Some are taking X number of units, Y, Z, etc. That makes sense?
Thank you for elaborating.
Sure. But interestingly enough, we added back sections because of the passage of Proposition 30, and we grew from 12-13 to 13-14, we grew 5.7% in our credit courses. That's a tribute to our faculty and to Jack's leadership and the deans. Along with that, however, is a cost. We didn't realize we would grow that much. So we overexpended in our adjunct faculty, and we knew we would do that. We didn't realize that we would grow as significantly as 5.7%. We only factored in a 2% growth, so that delta of 3.7%, we came in over budget in our adjunct faculty, and you'll see that in closeout. Bottom line, we're on track to get out of this debt in 15-16. When the institution is adding a second summer session, which will add even further FTES opportunities and course-taking opportunities for our students. So that's been the very strategic plan, and we feel very positive about where we are. So I wanted to entertain any questions you might have about enrollment. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to revisit the FTES that you're describing is really a process of building back from the cuts that we made during the recession,
Correct.
and not an expansion
No.
beyond where we were.
You're right, and I'll just go a step further and say that the cuts were imposed by the state through a process which they called workload reduction, which caused us to cut course sections across the state and to serve 500,000 less students statewide. So yes, now with the passage of Prop 13, we're able to recover. We have not fully recovered. No one in the state really has, because the funding is not there.
And then revisiting the 43%, as you said, this is high around the state as best
Anecdotally,
you
what I
understand.
found. Yes, is that it's
so we
it's a
have a-
strong number.
Okay.
So
Anybody
so that's number 2.
else?
Any other
Peter-
questions?
Peter
I'm
has a
sorry,
question.
Peter.
You used the term repay the debt. I just want to clarify that we're not talking about a monetary debt. We've not borrowed money.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. No, not at
We
all.
borrowed FTES from the summer session.
Correct.
Yes.
That's exactly right, which is legal. We can do that, and we're working our way out of that so that the FTES that we earn in any given year is that which the state will pay us for. So we
Right.
don't have to borrow.
The reason for my clarifying is that I know that some community colleges have borrowed money because of depletion of reserves. We have not done that,
Correct.
and therefore we're not paying that back
No.
with interest.
No. We're righting the ship after 5 years of an significant economic downturn. Okay, a couple of other items. As you know, men's tennis has been of interest to a significant portion of our tennis community, and we have been in discussions and in draft proposals to enter into an MOU that would address 4 areas. One would be recruiting associated with the men's tennis, and also putting into that realm women's tennis as well, because we're suffering a little bit from the same sorts of things with women's tennis that we found in men's tennis. So it would be working with the organization, the tennis community, relative to recruiting, particularly focused on local students, because that has been presented to you as a definite need. Secondly is student success. That is an issue that we had associated with the discontinuation of men's tennis. The third is coaching success, and the fourth is fundraising. So those are the 4 elements that our athletic director has been working with this group on. So we don't have a final MOU right now, but we're working toward it, and I wanted to give you a progress report on that. And then this is the first meeting I have been with you since the state, or since the governor signed the adopted budget for 14-15. So I need to share something with you that is now 100% official. In the governor's preliminary budget back in January, surprising to all of us, there were just a handful of community college facility improvement projects in the state budget, about 8 or 9. And there was one of them in there proposed for us, and that was a match for the campus center replacement. We held our breath, hoping that that would be sustained into the May revise, and it was. Then we held our breath through committee work, hoping that that would be adopted, and it was. So out of this $30 million replacement budget, the state will be providing $20 million, and we will be locally funding $10 million. What that means, with the passage of Measure S, we will be able to take that $20 million that is right now a line item for the campus center and redirect it to one of the highest priority things that the community has, and that is housing, transit, parking, and circulation. Those 4 elements. What exactly? We have not planned that because we were not going to plan something that at the time we didn't know would come to fruition. So you had a speaker, we have community members very concerned that they want to see affordable student housing, that they want us to take responsibility for affordable student housing. You have community members concerned that they may not want student housing. We have got to figure out the conundrum of student housing, parking, transit, and circulation for the long term. So that's what that plan is going to be doing.
Can I ask just one
Please.
question? In the governor's budget, are there deadlines? There have to be certain deadlines on that 20 million.
We've already started, and in fact, you did take
Okay.
some action, very early action,
Yes.
at the last meeting, very early in terms of planning and design.
Yeah.
So we're going to be ramping up, Julie and Joe are ramping up.
Good, because I
and,
don't want to miss any of those deadlines.
No, we don't either, but I want you to think now about, the campus is going to change for a bit of time, because that swing space is incredibly important swing space. It's where all the students eat, it's where all the culinary students learn, it's all of that stuff. So there's going to be some interesting location for swing space and the type of facilities we have.
Okay.
Portable cooking trailers and the like.
Craig, did you have a comment?
No, it's okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
When you're done. I was thinking, I remember somebody mentioning the artwork a long time ago. The artwork that's
Oh,
in the
yes.
campus center, is that the community, is that something you're going to work with the community, the artist community, to talk about what happens with that artwork?
We hadn't gotten that far.
Okay.
It wasn't the plan to replicate it onto the new building, but maybe to, I don't know. We hadn't talked about it.
Okay, so the community hasn't. I just remember somebody came maybe a year ago.
Asked to have it retouched up,
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
I think we're all aware that that $20 million comes with strings attached, deadlines attached, and not the least of which is the need for us to contribute the remainder of the money, for which we need resources. So that's it for the report. And our next two agenda items, reports, information, we have nothing additional, I think. And items for future board consideration. Okay? So,
Skip the board committee.
oh, report from
chairs.
board members, sorry about that. Mary Ann,
You're
I
rude. It's
apologize.
The meeting of the Facilities Committee set a new record for short, and we spent most of our time on two items that I'd call to your attention, F and G under the Business Services consent, and we are recommending approval of those items.
Anyone else have a report?
Well,
Peter?
You moved rather quickly. In terms of, and this may not be a good idea, but given what we've heard both from President Gaskin and our speaker today, would it not be a useful thing to take up at a board meeting, or maybe first at a study session, to look at the issue of student housing, transportation, parking, traffic control generally? Is that something that we should relegate to a study session, perhaps subsequent to a recommendation by the administration, so that we can have something to study?
I think you'll need to give us a little time on that, because we have now had 2 meetings with senior level staff at the city to do just that. And we have a 3rd meeting, I believe, coming up. I can't recall. Okay. We have been going through a very tried and true process of brainstorming, evaluating those ideas, and then culling it through the most viable. So that's our next step. So we're not quite in the position.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a future tense thing that will be based on recommendations that will come out of the administration that we can have some feedback time on.
Well, and I think I would hold off on all of that, because I think it is a larger issue, and especially, she said Cornell. Cornell, you have the Cornell preschool there, and you have families, and so I think that this will even be a greater conversation with the Thrive efforts that are going on. The Bowers Foundation is strictly funding so much work within the West Side for a cradle to career for these kids and families, and so much of that new environment is also having a social impact on the families that are down there. So I think that this is even a bigger cultural, political, that I think Lori would have to work through all of that before it even comes this way. Because I think, the one thing is the students, but the other thing is the long-term residents and families that are residing in that area.
I have no disagreement. honest.
What I think I'm hearing is it's a large, complex issue, and at some point, when administration is ready, we'd like to hear about it, and then maybe get reports on how progress is going. Is anyone?
No, it's good.
It's looking at it from both sides and talking to different people about it, it's like if you do one thing, it's not good, and if you do the other thing, it's not good either. And a little information I'd like to gather is what other districts are doing, other colleges in the state, and that doesn't mean we have to play copycat or don't do something they haven't done, but what's a norm and how far does it go? And so far, I don't think very many city colleges have, or community colleges have participated or gotten involved in student housing. And lately in the press, there's been talk about students. I read the papers about, well, we got all these students from out of the area and stuff, and if you do housing, then you would maybe attract more, and if you don't do the housing, then there are other questions. This is a very complex issue.
Yeah, I think it is a complex issue, and you have to not only look at maybe what other colleges are doing, community colleges and others, but the intended and unintended consequences of that. So we look to a big project there, Lori. Anything else for future board consideration, since we were on that? Okay. Item 2.1 is approval of the Second Amendment to the Superintendent President's contract. It's a short amendment, and I would like to just mention that the compensation change, which is limited to the same 0.85% COLA that the state budget included for all of our budget, was included in Dr. Gaskin's contract specifically at her request. This is her request to us. So, anyone else have any comments, or we can go to a vote?
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, abstain? It's approved. Next, we have Superintendent President. Anything else on that? Pat, you're up. Human Resources.
Good afternoon, members of the board and President Gaskin. I have the 4 sections of the consent agenda for Human Resources, 4.1A, B, C, and D. I have no changes for you tonight, so I'm presenting them all as one item for your approval.
I have a motion.
I move approval.
Veronica seconded as well.
Here.
We have 2 seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay.
Thank you.
Can I borrow one of your seconds?
Yeah.
Educational programs, Dr. Jack Friedlander.
Thank you, Marcia. Item 5.1, I'm recommending approval for the stipends for faculty.
Motion?
I move approval for stipends for faculty.
Nicholas, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Great, thanks. And item 5.2, these are the new courses for the Center for Lifelong Learning. And always interesting titles, especially wonder how many people are going to attract who are keeping backyard chickens.
Yeah.
I noticed that one. Yes. Motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain?
Great, okay, thank you.
Jack, you are approved. Okay, business services. Joe?
Fine.
So we can start with item 6.1, business services consent items.
Anything you want to tell us before we move forward?
Like 6.1F is being pulled.
Oh, 6.1F is,
Isn't one, that's what I was looking for. No?
Scoreboard replacement?
No, it's not. Okay, I was just,
Oh,
I was confused by something that happened the
there was
other
a,
day.
there was a DSA approval, I believe, we were
Yeah, there
talking
was.
about before, and so,
I don't believe we're
We're
pulling
not pulling, it's okay.
scoreboard,
Okay, good.
correct? Julie?
There you are.
Yeah.
I was
We
looking
like
for
our
you to
scoreboard.
Right.
confirm. Can I talk to her for just a second?
you're excused to talk to her.
pretty funny.
Okay.
The break.
It's a great scoreboard, the new one.
In facilities, we had a discussion about the DSA approval process.
Oh, okay.
And they, of course, are very concerned to make sure that it's structurally stable and won't blow over
that
and
would be
so
good.
forth. So,
Afraid it might fall down.
hence, greater expenses than
So if
originally.
you're running around the track, you won't get hit by a scoreboard. That's good.
Exactly.
That's very good. Yes.
So, yeah, I apologize for that, but F is to be pulled because we do not have the approval for that contract, so
Oh, okay.
we're pulling 6.2F. I
All
just
right.
wanted to confirm that.
Thank you.
And,
Okay, so you want us to approve as a group absent F?
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve?
I so move.
Peter? Craig? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay.
Okay. 6.2, A and B can be taken together. That's the resolution number 1 for the budget transfers between major objects, and resolution number 2 for the augmentation of revenues.
Okay, motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second, Peter. This is a resolution. Angie?
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Haslin?
Aye.
Trustee Bloom?
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Croninger?
Aye.
Student trustee Style?
Aye.
Okay, it's
And then
approved.
resolution number 3 is the transfer from ending fund balances. There's one in there this month.
Okay, motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Veronica, second. Resolution again.
Trustee Kugler?
Aye.
Trustee Gallardo?
Aye.
Trustee Haslin?
Aye.
Trustee Bloom?
Aye.
Trustee Nielsen?
Aye.
Trustee Croninger?
Aye.
Student trustee Style?
Aye.
Okay, we have 2 information items. The first one is A, which is the insurance program for schools and community colleges, Joint Powers Authority membership contribution, which is every year we make that payment. We bring it as an information item, although it's budgeted because of the magnitude of the item. And to show it, we have good experience factors this year. We're actually, it's, if you can call spending $1,139,000 favorable, we did well with it. So, that's the first item. The second is the COLA, and as was discussed earlier, I believe we have applied COLA to all the schedules for all the represented groups, and that was effective July 1. So they'll see that actually at the end of this month when the paychecks come out.
So again, just to reiterate, that 0.85% COLA is the statutory COLA provided through the adopted state budget. And our collective bargaining agreements provide that we pass that through to the employee groups.
So the state is in fact funding that.
Yes, that's all the state is funding, is 0.85%.
Peter?
Joe, help me out a little bit on item A. What is, I read that small print document, but I don't confess that I understand it. What is it that we're voting on?
This is, it's our experience, mod factors, and premium rates. So at the beginning of the year, we come up with an estimated amount for this payment for this program. It's our insurance program, and it's based on our total estimated payroll. And at year end, when we have actual payroll for the year, then we reconcile that. And then that's also applied so we have a set rate, and then we also have what they call an experience modification. So if it's less than 1, it shows that our experience modification was positive. So we're not paying as we would have, as our estimate was 1.695 times, it's the percentage of the total salaries. And so because our experience modifications were good, we actually paid 99.39% of that original estimate that we put out at the beginning of the year. And based on that, so that means that our deposit premium is $1,139,643. So that's the cost of our insurance program.
And we are insuring our salaries to faculty and staff, is that it?
Yeah, well, it's the
Liability, isn't it?
It's the
Liability.
It's the liability, and it's a general liability program.
Oh, okay.
They
General
base
liability
it on
program.
that salary.
They based it on that, so
Okay.
it's
That
part of
makes
our
sense.
exposure.
So by being less than 1, it means that our experience is that we have fewer claims than the average community
Yeah, the
college.
average in the JPA.
Yeah, in the JPA.
If it were over 100%, it would be the opposite.
So you're doing a good job. Why didn't you just say so?
Or we're lucky.
Or we're lucky.
I like the good job theory.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for the
Oh, sure.
clarification.
Any other questions, comments? Okay.
You need separate motions for each of these?
I think we're...
No, those are just information.
No, that's
Oh, that's
information.
information, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we have completed the agenda. We're
Wow.
ready to adjourn.
Day out. Day